Good evening, friends, and welcome back to Ember Squad, our Star Wars Age of Rebellion. I've been playing Edge of the Empire so much lately that I get them so confused. Age of Rebellion RPG here on QueueTimes. Hi, everybody. This is the first time I've ever done a show intro in my life, and it was very stressful. So I thank you all for sticking with me through that.
I'm very proud of
We
you.
are
It was a great job.
we almost have a full squad tonight. We're going to get Quincy back in a little while, but for now, I'm stuck with these miscreants. I'm going to go ahead and just kick things off to let do some quick announcements. Right off the top, I wanted to announce that if you had not seen it yet, we have announced that we have an upcoming campaign called Beacon that is going to be coming down the pipe. You guys can look forward to some Alien campaign play in October. So that'll be interesting. We'll have some more stuff coming down the pipe about that in the coming weeks. Also, if you are a subscriber on Coffee or Patreon, you're going to get some of the advanced up-to-date stuff that sometimes you get advanced notices, but you also get lore drops like I just did this past weekend for anybody who's interested in seeing a little bit more about what's going on in the lore to like lead into the show. That's coming up. Also, if you are a subscriber to our Coffee or Patreon, tomorrow night, Jedi Shadows is happening, following the adventures of one Caitlin, aka Moss, in a former life, and Sam Delev, two Jedi on the run in the Force and Destiny campaign that we do just for our subscribers on our Discord server. The VODs do go up for people who miss it, so if you don't get a chance to see it tomorrow night, don't worry about that. But you do have to be a subscriber on our Coffee or Patreon to catch it out. It's a 2-hour game. It's a lot of fun. It's just one GM and 2 players, and we had a really fun time last time. This is continuing the campaign that we actually played during the fundraiser, where some people who are present were also playing their Jedi. And this is continuing what happened to Sam's Jedi character after they fled with the Padawan during that whole incident with the Inquisitor on Nar Shaddaa. So we have no idea what happened to Anita and Noir's characters. We do not know where in fact, they don't know.
This is the best party split we've ever done.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. There was an agreement that you guys all reached before that all happened that if we get separated, just split and run because the Empire is going to know we're all here. So too many Jedi in one place equal bad. So you guys split, the family broke up, and you guys, you managed to escape with Caitlin. So we're following the journeys as to what is happening with those two kids. It's like Lone Wolf and Cub if Cub was dramatically older than they were in the comic. Let's see. I think that's all I've got. Oh, yes. I've been getting a lot of questions about this. Yes, I am writing a comic book with Jody Hauser. It is based off of Frank Frazetta's art called Dawn Attack. It is going to be coming out. I think it got delayed, actually. I'll have to double. No. It didn't get delayed. I was thinking of the 10 Candles game. That's the other announcement. So the comic should be coming out in November. The last thing I'll have to say before I toss it off is that we have fulfillment coming up for our fundraiser stuff that we did. We are slowly starting to roll that out. Everyone has been super busy and out of town and all this other jazz. So we've just been waiting until we can collectively put our heads together and start getting all the fulfillment stuff done. Thank you again for supporting the Streampunks for yet another year. And we love you guys. That's all I've got for my announcements. Who would like to go next?
We got a car. It's not in.
They got a car. I'm on a boat. Yeah, that's cool. You guys got a car. And what did you name your car?
The Poor Judgment.
The Poor Judgment. Fantastic.
It was a stupid decision, so we felt, yeah, that's right.
Would you say you exercised poor judgment?
Absolutely.
Our bank account thinks so.
An incredible angle of you, Eric.
Thank you. No,
That
I
was
practiced
good.
my Muppet near far for a long time.
It reminded me of when you were a velociraptor, Gina.
Yeah, that is Velociraptor Curious Girl face.
Totally
Clever.
That is totally Dino Eye. Yep.
Yeah, because it's to make sure the eye is the fish-eyed the most. Like,
yeah. Anybody else got anything that they're up to? Anything they want to announce before we jump into the game tonight?
I could say things. My Crash Show had its finale, but we did get approved for a season 2. Yay! So that will be coming back at the end of November. And in between, we did establish that I'm going to be making something, my Frankencraft, my cursed object, that all of our guests have given me one item, concept, idea, or thing that I have to incorporate into one craft. So throughout my socials and Crown's socials, we're going to be posting some behind the scenes updates of that. And then the final project will be revealed on our first episode in November. But if you want to keep track and try to maybe guess what I'm going to be making, follow on the socials there on me. And also on Failed Save, the show Failed Save is on Pixel Circus every Friday. It has a lot of wonderful humans, and we do things that are usually strange. We did an all DMs episode where each of us DM'd about a 20-minute segment of D&D in our campaign to reveal something. It's a lot of goofs and a lot of silly stuff, and you guys out there have a lot of sort of unfortunate narrative control over our characters and our lives and our stories. So if that's the kind of thing you're into, go follow Pixel Circus and watch Failed Save.
Yay. All right. Anybody else? Anybody got stuff going on?
I don't see it.
Yep.
I don't remember if I do because I'm distracted by birds.
Sure. Yeah.
But I also get the opportunity to exercise poor judgment. And I'm excited.
Excellent. Let's jump into tonight's episode of Ember Squad. Welcome back to QueueTimes in the QueueTimes system. The poor judgment has been docked here for a hot minute because you guys decided it was a good idea just to go to ground and try to get some modifications done to the poor judgment so that you didn't glaringly come off like a salvaged Imperial frigate, which you do. A small transport that's heavily armored and armed, it's kind of hard to miss your silhouette when you're flying through the stars. Anybody who has seen you guys approach has immediately assumed that the Empire showed up on their door. Thankfully, QueueTimes did not immediately treat you guys like the Imperial space Nazis that you appeared to be. Instead, they let you dock. Probably the smart thing to do if the Imperials are looking for a docking space. But the other way, they were pleased to find out that you were not, in fact, Imperials, but a bunch of scumbags that were looking just to change the exterior of the vessel. And they're kind of people. As it turns out, Narumno, your Wookiee friend that you helped rescue, she had contacts. One of them being located here on this miraculous space station. I call it miraculous because it is a space station that feels like it's a bunch of cargo containers that have been stacked on top of each other and has just expanded and expanded and expanded out of rock. It's literally an amalgam space station created because the planet down below was decimated by environmental hazards and events and all manner of things. So the civilization of QueueTimes actually lives above the atmosphere. This contact, his name is Zabit. He's a basilisk, a four-armed smooth talker who knows his way around starship engineering, hull repair, weapons making, that kind of thing. Talked y'all up a good one and decided to help you all out because apparently owes Narumno some favors, but Narumno owes him a few more. They came to an arrangement, and that's what's taking place right now. The rest of y'all are waiting for the diagnosis. Are you going to be able to get the poor judgment at least modified a little bit before you can take off again and go searching for the fight? You guys have been out of the fight for a little over a week now. You have no idea where the rock skipper is, and you have no idea how to get in contact with command. It's one of Sergeant Tillo's main priorities right now is to reestablish contact with command. Unfortunately, Rebels, high command has gone to ground, and they're laying low right now. The rebel fleet is scattered throughout the galaxy and are trying not to gather in numbers, and they're coordinating across a vast swath of space. The Empire is on the hunt for you guys. The destruction of the Death Star changed everything. And now the Empire is hunting the rebellion down viciously, like thousands of hounds tracking a fox. And so it's not wise to gather in groups. That has made it very difficult on all of you. You're kind of untethered at the moment. And Tillo's trying to work this out. Not to mention, you have a VIP prisoner who's been confined in her cell, as it were, aboard the Poor Judgment this whole time. She is high priority, and there's a bit of a, what do we do with her? If we can't get rid of her, if we can't give her up to the rebellion, what do we do with her? It's starting to become a question that is slowly starting to be asked. We already know what Lon Ortha thinks. We already know what Myth thinks. You guys have had conversations about how to handle this situation. So we're going to start tonight right where we left off, which was where a few of you had decided while this discussion was going on with Zibbet and getting the Poor Judgment modified. Some of y'all decided to go gambling because there's a casino here. So those of you who are in that group and anybody who wants to join in now has decided they'll go check out the less boring aspect of being here on Space Station and settle yourself in at a gambling table and make yourself get a little fun in.
Yeah.
Well, something unusual has happened. You were being welcomed to a sabacc table, and just as you were settling in, somebody dropped some money on the table and decided to ante in. This somebody was a large Trandoshan who is wearing a sort of like this banded white armor across his chest and yellow-looking flight suit, and has grenades wrapping around the right side of his body and a simple blaster rifle that is just slung to his back. Everybody at the table has reacted to his presence, so much so that none of you who are aware of who this is cannot help but note the sudden shift in the room, particularly the gambler that you were all talking to, a man that hadn't even gotten a chance to introduce himself yet, that was welcoming you all to the table, who is currently holding the attention of the Trandoshan right now. So we're going to start at that scene with this Trandoshan sliding into a chair at the table, reaching a thick clawed hand over and grabbing a bunch of sabacc cards and sliding them over and starting to shuffle to start doing the dealing. And everyone has grown quiet at the table.
Where's his other hand?
What's that?
Elias is keeping note of where his hands are. Where one hand is reaching for the cards. Where's his other hand right now?
Resting on the table right in front of him, kind of folded up to the side. He doesn't look like he's reached for a gun. Although I will say this much. He doesn't look like he's reached for a gun. But Elias, he doesn't seem to be the type that needs to. Everyone around here is reacting like he is holding a gun to their head from the moment that he slides into his chair. And he just starts calmly shuffling cards.
How's Stucky reacting? That's who they look to next.
If you want to make an underworld check, you guys can try.
Yeah, but
If you want to throw, and also Gina, if you want to say that MT is here, I'm totally down.
I'm on it.
Droids are not banned from the casino.
Real bad underworld check.
So if y'all want to make underworld checks, okay. So Stucky, the difficulty of this check. Let's see.
Oh, whoops, sorry.
You know what? And also after this roll, hold on, before you roll your difficulty dice, I skipped major parts of our game. Let's get into let's go ahead and get into rolling our destiny dice real quick, because that's probably going to come into play with this roll. So
what's the game that's at the table too while we're rolling?
Sabacc.
Okay.
Which is Star Wars poker, basically.
Okay, so people can cheat at it.
Oh yeah. Oh,
okay.
Lando notoriously cheats on it in Solo. I feel like
it's not a good idea to have a droid at a table. They can just cheat for you.
It really isn't.
So I learned mechanically, if you're playing Normal, you roll one way. You're cheating, you roll another way.
Fascinating. Great.
Yep. I actually have the rules for Sabbat gambling in front of me if anyone actually decides to play around outside of narrative. So, all right. Cool. So let's go ahead and start this off. Elias, why don't you start us off? Roll a white die for me, if you would, please.
Libby, what are you doing?
All right. Okay, and Lon is not here, so Myth, if you want to go ahead. Thank you, Myth. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
MT, would you like to also saturate this universe in the dark side? I appreciate you. Thank you, MT. Stucky.
All right, yeah, let's do it.
We have 2 hops.
Just in time. Just in time. Stucky.
Oh, no!
The dark side. Oh my god.
Never mind, we all have 1 hop.
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to lie. Lon Ortha, I'm not going to lie. It's kind of resting on you right now. Roll us. I don't know if you've seen how many are you logged into the RPG session site yet? Okay. When you get in, roll me a destiny die. Roll a destiny die.
Why did I have to get 2?
I don't know. There's just something about
He doesn't do anything now.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, it got worse.
Should we just log off and start over? Can we roll credits again? What happened?
This is the first time this has ever happened in any Star Wars system game.
The Force is like, take 2 weeks
it's
off.
It's because we're at a casino.
Oh,
the house always wins.
Wow. Amazing.
So this is a good omen, right?
Okay, I'll go up from here.
We
you
can't
literally hear
lower.
the Emperor's theme just playing in the background. Like, okay.
Where's that heavy breathing coming from?
Also sitting down at the table.
MT.
Yeah. Okay. Let me roll y'all's duty score. 95. It does not trigger. Holy hell. Y'all have had terrible luck with the dice tonight. I rolled a 95. Duty doesn't trigger this round. Nobody's wound threshold raises by 1, unfortunately.
Okay.
So, literally the worst possible rolls available to you at the top of a game. Nicely done, Ember Squad.
Thank you.
Setting new standards. I appreciate y'all. All right. On that note, let's get back to that original roll. So I did see that you rolled 1 success and 2 advantages. So then I need you, Stucky, real quick to roll me 3 difficulty dice.
Okay.
Oh, so you have no idea who this is.
God!
You have absolutely, and you can get. I don't know, but you can gain a point of strain for that too, because you rolled 3 threats. You had 2 advantages, so I'll just gain a point of strain. Who else would like to roll? The difficulty is 3. All right, go ahead, MT. Gina's scared.
3 purple, or was this the
yeah, that's right.
Black
3
dice?
purple. Yeah,
Okay.
3 purple. That's right. Okay, MT knows who this is. MT has extensive files and is able to identify this by the markings and by the attitude and by the voice.
I pass my time by researching the underworld.
Reality TV.
Yes, it is my junk food.
Okay, so Elias, we're going to say that point of threat is going to be strain because, Elias, remind me, was your farm originally near the Outer Rim, or was it on the Outer Rim, or is it in the Mid Rim?
That has not been canonically confirmed and will collapse into a point of narrative convenience, which might, in fact, be this moment based on that question.
Yes. What would you like to say? Where do you think Elias comes from?
Elias isn't like far Outer Rim. Like, they're not rocking a Camino kind of planet.
Right. Near the borders of the Mid Rim, then?
Yeah, they're like one of those towns off the 5.
Okay.
I'm assuming the Mid Rim is the 5. Like the line of demarcation.
Maybe. I always think of it as like the 118, but yeah, that works. Yeah. So Yeah. Okay, so Elias, you think you know who this is. In which case, the two of you who have rolled, I'm going to roll for Narumno actually real quick to see if she is able to put 2 and 2 together, because she actually
Nero's not there.
Oh, did Nero? Oh, that's right. Nero was
Nero
actually
was-
talking to his... That's right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Who else is there?
So it's Lon, Myth, and Neru.
Right. Okay. Lon, if you want to go
over
ahead and
at
make
BBT's.
if you want to make an underworld check, you can. The difficulty is 3.
Or sorry, Lon, Myth,
Mhm.
and Neru are at the shop. Everyone else is at the.
Oh, Lon isn't there. Okay, yeah. Sorry, refresher. So Lon, you were... Oh, that's right. You were talking to your fellow engineer. So you're not there.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. It's been 2 weeks since you... No. Anyway. Okay, so for the two of you who succeeded, the name Bosk is known throughout the Mid and Outer Rim. One of the most infamous bounty hunters, also one of the most successful bounty hunters, has been hunting for quite a while. Trandoshans are known to get around, especially with their penchant for having a deep cultural passion for hunting. This one in particular has made quite the name for himself and has been at some of the big events that the galaxy is known about. If you are somebody who's lived on the Outer Rim and you have an idea of who he is one of the most dangerous bounty hunters alive. And now he is casually dealing out a card. He flips a card. Who is playing this round?
That'd be me.
Is it? Okay, so y'all are dealt your cards. MTU just watching this as the Trandoshan just flips the cards out one by one very deliberately.
I am here to
And-
collect the extra drinks for everyone else.
In which case, somebody does approach with drinks and go, "Is this table thirsty? Does anyone need drinks here?"
Yes, I require 2.
There you are. Just take one. It's on the house. If you're gambling, it's on the house. Take one.
Yes.
Take 2. Thank you.
I grab 6 for everyone at the table.
They remove the tray and they go, "Thank you for that. This thing is so heavy." Immediately leaves. You set down drinks and start doling them out, just with droid precision. Just everyone gets a drink.
Stucky's knocking his back immediately. Just
You just
All
toss
right.
it back.
all right.
Yeah, Stucky, it burns going down. That was some pretty strong alcohol you just threw back.
Yeah, it was.
MT takes the empty glass and
Mhm.
also does the motion to join in.
Okay.
I think
And
that is
then
the
and then
most
like
terrifying.
takes their hand to wipe across their not mouth.
Yeah. Y'all hear this vague metal scraping against metal as she just kind of very gently scrapes her hand across her face.
Yeah.
Nails on a chalkboard for poor Stucky. Cards are dealt out. Bosk gives a long look at the gambler who was talking to you all and inviting you all to the table. Gambler visibly has a bead of sweat running down his face as he's picking up his cards. All the players agree on a wager at the table and pays the set amount into the pot. The casino will always have the set amount per table. Okay, so how much was the betting before I entered the game? The gambler who's sitting at the table says, we were anteing in at just 200 credits. 200 credits. Big pot to start with. Not everyone here can pay 200 credits. Can they, Bavis? And the gambler just... you were getting ready to loan them the money, weren't you, Bavis? But it's not your money. Is it, Bavis? The gambler just says, if it's on me, it's my money. I don't take money that doesn't belong to me. Some very powerful people would disagree with you. And he sets down 200 credits in the center of the table. I ante in.
So I'm just gonna say you guys have made this weird.
It's fine. It's fine. The
Quiet,
gambler
it
turns
is
and looks
just starting to get good.
So
Are you both going to bet?
yeah, I mean, yeah,
Would you like me to flag down another drink?
yeah, probably you should do that. Yeah, I'm anti it in. Let's do this. Elias, I'm just gonna this. You can just take if you just want to watch. You can watch if you want to. If you want this your first round, go for it. It'll be fun.
This is
I'll
incredibly
watch.
exciting, and statistically unlikely you will win.
Never tell me the odds.
Okay. You don't want to play, Elias? Do you enjoy keeping your money?
MT asking the hard-hitting questions.
Yes, ma'am.
I will not tell you the odds, but they are good for you, Elias.
So
They sit back a little bit. They hadn't yet touched the drink because I don't know. It seems like they might need to keep their wits about them in this moment, and they could not tell without just going for it whether or not what they got was alcoholic from MT. But they lean back a little bit at the notion they do not have to play in this game, and MT is like over our shoulders a bit.
Oh, you're muted.
I went the other way around. I think MT has sort of dragged a very structurally hard metal stool to the behind the two of you, and is just tall enough that she can fully like survey both of your hands and like watch.
So she can probably also see Elias doing the subconscious like wallet grip, and I think mathematically, just like based on visual observation and analysis of optical inputs,
yeah,
they've never had 200 credits to hold in the same place.
Yeah.
No.
Which is why MT is not pushing. This all seems just ridiculous.
Take an opportunity to keep an eye on Bosk, who's not behaving as expected.
In this moment, because Bosk has everyone shook, Stucky's trying to be like that one guy that's at the bar, like, I'm not scared of him. Like, and so he's gonna, as he said, he goes, he looks at the house and he goes, you know, our new friend here has me a little concerned that when I win, you're not going to be able to pay me.
Who are you saying that to?
To the gambler that's running the game, the one that Bosk was talking to.
He almost doesn't notice you for a moment, and he finally turns and says, "Not at all. I honor my debts."
Is that right? And I'm going to look over to Bosk.
Bosk hasn't taken his eyes off the gambler. He's staring at him like somebody who is caught his prey already and is just really enjoying watching the squirm effect taking place. It's unnerving. The reptilian's eyes just kind of, you see that second membrane just flick back and forth across those large orbs as he stares at the gambler for a moment.
Intense. Okay.
There's concern. Well, we can make this easy. Bosk suddenly puts his cards down on the table and slowly shoves all of the chips and cards slowly to the right into a pile. And as he's doing this, everyone, whether you are understanding as to what's happening or not, everyone feels the tension suddenly go up. And Bosk says, we keep this simple. We make easy bets. Everyone can play. 5 credits in.
And what happens to the 200 credits I put down that you just swept away like you had the right to do
Take
so?
your credits back.
Okay.
5 credits in. Here's the gamble. Ready? The bet is, can Bavis run away faster than I can draw? Silence starts to fill over the table, and Bavis
Except
stares.
MT, who giggles.
Place your bets.
I look
Stuck is
around.
going
Is
to
there
look
cover?
at Elias.
Elias seems to be genuinely assessing the space. They've seen a blaster rifle, which is hard to draw, but it takes a long time to get out of a chair.
Do you want to make a perception check on him?
Sure, yeah. Why not?
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check. Difficulty of this is 2. He's right next to you, so this is not going to be challenging.
Yeah, well, it is for Elias.
Elias, you can't see what this Trandoshan's got, but the way he's carrying himself with confidence, he seems to be pretty confident that this is a safe bet for him.
Left hand still on the table.
Mm-hmm.
What's everybody else at the table looking like? Are they...
Nobody wants to be here. Everybody else that's at the table right now, nobody wants to be here. You can sense immediately, without even have to make insight checks, the other 3 gamblers who are just random people who are sitting down for a friendly game of sabacc all look like they want to leave, but nobody is willing to make a fast move right now. Everyone's just staying at the table, keeping their eyes to the ground, or trying to avoid looking at what the situation is.
All right, so here's what I would like to... Here's the...
Excellent, Noir. Give it to me.
Here's the stupid thing that I'm about to do.
Yep, do it. What are you doing?
When he draws to shoot this guy, because that's gonna happen, Stucky's number 1 priority is swiping the rest of the credits on the table.
Okay.
Like he's betting that they're more afraid of him and wanting to run than they are worried about their credits.
Okay. You see, what are you doing, Elias and MT?
I would like to run statistics on the sort of whole situation, the level of panic at the table, the security that might intervene now that there is sort of a scuffle that's happening. I basically want to assess the likelihood, not of the person getting away, because I don't have a bet, but I want to see the statistical likelihood that the other variables of people at the table causing harm to my crew.
Okay. Make me a perception check.
Okay.
With the difficulty of 2. If you get some advantages, I'll give you some bonus here.
2.
Remember, you guys do have Ox Crew bonus die to spend whenever you.
I would love a bonus die because I'm battling the fact that MT's watching her shows right now. She gets to be up close live to a fight that has nothing to do with her crew.
That's fair.
She just gets to watch and she's excited. But
so Mr. Owlbear.
Yeah, so Mr. Owlbear will give me
Thank you.
a
Thank you for the boost die.
Oh my gosh.
So 1 blue die.
1 blue die.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna bank those threats for myself here.
Great.
But which is going to be pretty easy to do because it's pretty obvious there's not going to be a sabacc game now.
Yeah.
It's pretty clear that is not happening.
Well, on my end, though, we might have a lot more credits.
Okay, I'm going to take it. So, okay, with 2 successes, here's what I'll tell you. This is actually way more of a dangerous situation than you previously realized, MT. As you start running the statistics, everybody else sees Bosk sitting at this table with the blaster rifle slung over his back. You, having the angle that you do and being as large as you are, can actually see more of the area around you guys. That's not a blaster rifle. That's a Relby V10 mortar gun. It shoots explosives. It is a grenade launcher. It does not shoot blaster bolts. That thing is designed to destroy walls, people, you name it. It is not a subtle weapon. Probably telling that he has it strapped across his back, but it begs to ask what is he using to shoot this guy with? Because the only other weapons he apparently has on him are grenades, which, by the way, with that perception check, I will tell you those grenades are toxin. All of them. Dioxis grenades lining the sides of his. If those go off in here, people are going to die in mass quantities. Bosk is not a subtle hunter. He has weapons that take on multiple targets at once. None of these appear to be in a sufficient, an efficient grabbing distance of any kind. So what he's talking about drawing on him, you're not sure. But if he's talking about those weapons, y'all are all in danger.
MT's not quiet. I think MT, since she is relatively close behind the two of you, I think you feel like metal hands on the back, like the smalls of your back, kind of gripping and tapping. Almost like the intent to scoop and bolt. Like she doesn't stop. She keeps slow, like under the table, slowly wrapping her arms around your waists.
Stop it. So that's perfect, because MT slowly moving to do this, the tension begins to rise and rise and rise. And it almost feels like someone's slowly reaching for a blaster pistol, kind of like quick draw moment, high noon. And then it all happens at once, because he gets a free maneuver by burning those two threat. I give him a free maneuver. Bosk suddenly shoots one of those incredibly long Trandoshan arms out and seizes Bavis by the neck. And slowly stands up.
Can I swipe?
And you see Bosk reach down and pull the blaster out of Bavis's holster. He goes, switches it to stun, puts it against his chest, and goes, "Didn't get far, did you?" And this, you see Bavis seizes up, just as his eyes roll back and the stun effect takes into a hold, and the limp body just falls to the ground as he puts the blaster pistol down and says, "Too bad. Could have won credits on that bet."
While that was going down, could I have attempted to swipe?
You can attempt to swipe. So here's what you're going to need to do. You're going to need to roll skullduggery.
Oh, I was hoping it'd be stealth. Okay.
But if you can succeed, there are 600 credits on the table that no one's looking at right now.
I would like to use an auxiliary, please.
Yes, I'm going to. Yeah, go ahead and use. I'm going to hold off for the moment. But
you can see the light side.
Oh, right. Yeah, the light side. All right. So on behalf of the Aux crew, Guru Matt, thank you so much for that boost die. And the difficulty of this is actually going to be against the highest perception in the room. So,
okay.
Let me check to see what that is going to be. Okay.
I don't like that laugh, man.
All right, so go ahead and make your roll.
What's the difficulty?
No difficulty dice. This is a roll off. So make your roll for skullduggery. Nice.
No! No! Come on, man!
You start scooping up the credits, just like with one quick hand, and that reptilian claw catches your hand, and Bosk looks at you for a hot second, and he just plucks his 200 credits out of the pile.
Good looking out.
Tucks it away. Excuse me, it's time for me to cash out. And he, with one hand, picks up Bavis by his belt. So like holding this guy limply in the midsection, and just begins to casually walk away from all of you, dragging this guy behind him.
All right, good game, everybody.
Yeah, at that when you say that, Noir, the moment Stucky says that, everyone gets up from the table and starts leaving. Nobody else noticed your credits grab. The only person that did was Bosk, and Bosk only wanted his 200, and he just everyone departs, and after a few seconds, it's just MT, Stucky, and Elias at the table.
And Elias, that's how you gamble.
See, that's how it's done.
I don't think I should bet against you.
You know, I don't know if I technically won, but let's just count it as a win, because if we don't, Myth then will never let me hear the end of it. But hey, we've got 400 additional credits. They can't complain about that.
I look back over my shoulder at MT.
Mm-hmm.
MT has a full tray of drinks now.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Wasn't that
Elias will
exciting?
slowly take one and drink it.
It's gonna burn. It's gonna burn.
That
Does
was a
it?
close
Did you
one.
give the Elias alcohol?
Oh, no.
They're old enough.
Oh,
I'm sure they've said this.
Yeah. But you tend to make faces when alcohol is handed near you. So I've clocked when you don't make faces at liquid.
Yet I make faces at Troit, and that has
I
to
am
be
your
clocked.
physician. I must get near you. And your coworker.
I'm picturing MT putting out their first album called "I Must Get Near You," and your coworker.
It's just empty on a mountaintop with the arms open in the sunrise. Creed album.
#1 hit. I have a knife.
I have a knife.
we should probably regroup with the rest.
Yes, it is wise to quit while we are ahead. And not poisoned.
Yeah, I mean, I
Did you clock those?
Where was their poison? Was there the risk?
Boss.
Was the drink poison?
No, not the drink. The bounty hunter.
Oh,
We had several grenade explosives and poisons. It is a good thing his arms were sufficient.
there's always some tough in the casino. You just kind of let them be.
I'm surprised none of you put a bet down. It was very unlikely that person was going to get away.
I don't think it was a real bet. I think it was just a threat. You know, like tough guys always say stuff like that, like put down 10 credits, then you can punch me in the face and I won't feel it. You learn to ignore them after a while.
That is a terrible bet. Of course they would feel it. Well, I suppose it would depend on the anatomy of the individual. And she starts going off on the possible medical probabilities of.
He's trying to explain like street stuff to MT as they're walking down.
Yes, she has a logical understanding of the underworld, but not the intricacies of how. Or why.
But that's essentially Stucky's just gonna be heading down to Zibit.
How much money do we need?
I don't know.
I think we were still working out the price.
I mean, this should be enough for a down payment, maybe at least.
How much do we officially owe?
Oh, I mean,
I cannot contribute unless I sell some of my plating.
if we're
But
talking,
I do not want to.
Well, you shouldn't sell your plating. It's your plating. But I'm just, if we're talking a collective we, and some of my older perceived debts, it might be a lot, which is why I'm keeping a pretty low profile.
Perceived deaths.
Perceived.
Who perceives them?
Zibit perceives that my family and me may owe him a substantial amount of credits.
How many is substantial? Stucky.
You stop counting at around 7 digits.
I do not. I can count past 7 digits.
Oh. We lost an entire shipment to the Imperials of tools and resources.
Did you lose it on purpose?
I mean, we didn't call the Empire and go, "Hey, you should raid us and kill half my family." Like, no, but you know, that's the Empire for you. Only showing up when it's the least convenient for you. So it's that's why I'm kind of staying away from Zibit, but letting the Wookiee do the talking. He might not even recognize me. I was a wee little lad when we lost a substantial shipment. I mean, I don't like this look everyone has on their face right now. Please change these looks on your faces. We're
I
fine.
cannot. But I will try.
Okay, the new look scares me. You can go back to the old one, MT. Maybe I should put the goggles on. I didn't have goggles when I was younger. These were my dad's goggles. Should probably not have these.
It's a good thing we are talking this through now.
Yep. You just.
Do you want to be there?
I don't want to be there, but I do want.
Do you need to be there?
I don't need to be there. I mean, I don't. Listen, Lon's a good guy, but I don't know that I trust some of his aesthetic choices for the poor judgment.
You would risk that much internal pain for aesthetics.
Yeah.
I take that back, based on the look you have given me.
I've got to fly it, so he can't.
But you fly it from the inside. You cannot see what it looks like on the outside.
And I don't want to look silly.
You are not silly.
Well, I can't fly something that looks silly. I've just flown 2 bricks, and I finally got a very nice ride. And I would like.
It might be a good idea if it doesn't look too nice, considering the last ships.
Elias steps in front of Stucky as we're walking along and faces him direct. Stucky, you just saw what happened to someone on this planet, and 7 digits is I want you to be safe, and I'll protect you, and MT will protect you. I just that was a lot of grenades.
Listen, most people think all the O'Haras are dead anyway. So if this guy sent somebody after me, they've probably given up the chase by now. And besides, if somebody does come after me, it's not like they can catch me. We're fine.
Did you not just see that encounter? Bounty hunters do not tend to give up when there is a substantial fee in it for them.
Well, I don't think that he can afford to put 7 digits on a bounty for me because he's out 7 digits. So it really works in my favor. It's not like if he puts the 7-digit bounty on me, he's ever going to recoup that. At most, he could probably a 4 or 5-digit bounty on my head. And that's nothing. This is what I tell myself to get through the day. Don't look at me like that, please.
Would you like me to tell you the odds now?
Are they good?
Let's go.
Where are y'all headed?
Away from Zibbet.
Yep.
I was heading
Away from
Zippy. I think they just pull him aside as he's
Power steering.
Lots of power steering.
Okay. So are y'all just headed back to the Poor Judgment then?
Yep.
I'm gonna hide you in a glove compartment. My goodness. Ha!
I'm going to spend a dark side point.
I just look at you with eyes empty.
Yeah.
That means 7.
7. And not just 7, but stopped counting at 7. So who knows?
So when you all return to the hangar where the Poor Judgment is, you all big double doors open as you all step into the expansive hangar that looks out into the beautiful expansive space. But inside right now, droids moving about, doing maintenance work and everywhere. And you see your crew currently standing a few feet away from the Poor Judgment. In front of them is Zibbet, who is currently just looking underneath the ship and makes direct eye contact with you as the doors open up and sees all of y'all walk in. Looks like he was giving probably a once-over as to what he can do to the ship and was giving like an appraisal of what's going on. His hands, 2 of his arms on his right side of the body just pointed up, and he's kind of like doing that. And he sees the 3 of you just step into the room. He stares at y'all for a moment. It's a brief moment of eye contact. Oh, you're muted, Gina.
What is the fastest way to make a lot of credits?
Are you asking him this?
Yes.
Approach? All right. What are the rest of you doing?
I think Stucky's just gonna whisper, like, "See, doesn't even recognize me."
Wait! I thought we were walking away from Zibbet.
You were planning on not going to Zibbet's workshop. The idea was to avoid that and go.
Then I don't ask that person. I thought that was someone else. I was like, wait, we walked away from Zibbet. No, I'm not going to go.
Dark side.
We tried and then got
the dark side point, and you guys walked into the hangar, and Zibbet made eye contact with all of you because you thought you were going back to not Zibbet's place, but as it turns out, Zibbet followed Lon and Myth back to the hangar with Naruto.
Do we see them?
Yeah.
Even though you already said Zibbet saw them, if I see them, I would like to go. Anyway, what about this plating in front over here? As I try to like turn him around away.
Let's make let's make that a roll because you might be able to pull that off. Don't have you roll deception or charm. No, this would be coercion. This is in no way trying to charm or deceive him. This is literally waving your arms and trying to get him to look in an opposite direction. So you're literally trying to coerce him to be like, "Oh, over here, look at this. This is you should stare right at this and not at the people that just walked in." So make a coercion check.
Great. It's my weakest social skill. What's the difficulty?
Awesome. Difficulty is, well, I'd say that's going to be I'll make that a roll off. So just roll your dice versus his.
We've not been doing well with roll offs today.
Yeah.
Here we go.
While this roll is happening, just to be clear, this is the man that you owe 7 digits to.
Not me.
And stop counting.
And stopped counting.
My family used to do work for him, and
because it was his shipping job that you lost the shipping container for.
Yeah, we were underground, smugglers, and we had a shipment for him to smuggle in that was top priority, priceless, right. Stuff. And on our route, the Empire found us and took all of our stuff and killed most of my family.
Got it.
I was able to get out. Yeah.
So less lost and more ambushed.
So you can't even really blame us, right? That's what I'm saying.
So that was a valiant attempt, Lon.
Oh no.
You rolled 4 advantages against his 1 success and 1 advantage. So he glances over to see what you're pointing at briefly. But as the 3 of them timidly approach, Zabit looks back and just goes, O'Hara?
Are you talking to me, Fred?
He takes a few steps for a moment, and then he starts to approach you slowly.
Don't worry, guys. I've got this. I've pretended not to be me.
For the rest of you don't know what's going on, Zibbit has suddenly stopped his appraisal of the ship and approaches, walks right up to Stucky.
Oh. I put my hand on the gentleman approaching. Do I know that this is who he was avoiding? Yes?
Yes, this is
okay. I place my hand up and then place my other one and kind of step forward and go, careful, he is contagious. You must step back. I am bringing him to quarantine. He is contagious. Medical
I'll grab him by the
emergency.
elbow to start to guide him.
Medical emergency. Please back away.
He takes a step back.
Okay. she
You just see
keeps
him look
panicking and
he looks left and right. You don't even have to make a deception check. He takes 1 step back and just
yeah.
And he goes. Then you see that big, thick reptilian head. He kind of angles it down, and he looks at you for a second, Stucky, and he goes, "Stucky, is that you?"
Fred, I never heard of any Stucky. Fred, my name is Doug.
You can definitely tell he does not look convinced. You can see 2 of his 4 arms he puts to his face like he's surprised. His other 2 arms go onto his hips, and expressing both emotions at the same time, he for a second goes, "Oh, Stucky, I'm so sorry. When I heard the shipment had been lost, I asked after you and your family. I heard what happened."
I'm genuinely confused right now, guys. I don't know if I should keep lying or if I should tell the truth.
You're speaking out loud right now, Stucky. I can
haven't
hear
did it-
everything you're saying to your droid.
I need to stop doing that. Okay, you got me. I'm Stucky. I was Stucky the whole time. I know I had you convinced.
He is also not contagious. Ha ha! It was a goof.
Oh, Stucky. He takes a couple of steps forward, and a few moments later, you find 4 arms wrapping around you, Stucky. And a big, thick hand patting you on your back. Your father was a good man. I'm very sorry for his loss. How are you? How have you been since? I didn't know you were flying with Narumno. Narumno doesn't usually like to fly with the hairless ones.
Yeah, noted. They were very agitated in the cockpit. I think Stucky has kind of had to be alone ever since that incident, and having somebody from the old days care is throwing him off, and he just kind of leads into the hug and he goes, "We were never late, and we never missed the delivery, and so I didn't know how you would take it. I'm doing what I can to get him back."
No. The company is dissolved. 2 million credits gone. But 2 million credits
Not as much as father. Not as much as family. I lost a company. You lost so much more. I wish I had known you were flying with this crew. I'm good to see you. Happy you made it.
He looks over at Narumno and says,
It's on me.
and Narumno doesn't say anything, but just the Wookiee nods slowly and says, Zibit looks back at you and says,
Oh, Stucky. Anything I can do to help. You always have a place here, you and your crew.
Damn, it's gonna make flying a little harder if I don't have a home base. That's why I fly so damn hard. I don't have anywhere to go.
Well, you and I should catch up. And for now, your friends, your crew, are telling me Hot Rod Red.
And he motions to the ship.
Damn, Law, that's actually exactly what I wanted. Yeah, with the gold stripe down the side, asymmetrical, of course. We gotta keep it classy. This is my friend Elias, and this is my friend MT.
Nice to meet you.
Gives you a look over MT. Says,
Good engineering.
And
Are
straight
you
up
flirting with
terrified.
me?
I also see the genius of taking what works best and putting them into one person. You have multiple parts from different chassis all over you. Good engineering.
Yes. I am a full crew in and of myself. I have the best of everything, all in one.
Well, I should get to work soon, but maybe later we have dinner together. You can pick the place.
I would love to accompany and sit and listen.
Anyone who's a friend of Stucky is a friend of mine.
Unless you want a private dinner, Stucky.
Dinner with friends and family sounds good. I think we should all gather around, tell some stories about the old days, some about the new days. Listen, I don't know how much this is, but feels good to take something from the Empire. I'll see if I can get another one for you, huh, buddy?
You see the big smile stretch across the Basilic's face, and he says,
By the way, that reminds me. I'm going to restrict use of this hangar while you're all here, so that only you can gain access. I'm going to take one of my people off of it. Truth is, this is a hot item.
and he points up at the ship. He says,
I've never seen a decimator before. I've only heard about them. But even with the paint job up close, it'll be easy to spot what it really is. And there are plenty of people making their way across the galaxy who would be stupid enough to think that the Empire will pay them credits for telling them where one of their salvaged vessels are. Not worth taking the risk.
Yeah, you're right. I could only think of one person that could handle this thing and make it a little less obvious. You're the first to come to mind, even when I thought that you'd kill me for, I got to tell you, the thrusters on this baby, and the VTOL engine it's smooth, like
he smiles and says,
We'll just have to see how the hull takes to the paint that I have. Shouldn't be a problem.
If anybody could get it done, it's you.
Well, I'm going to go get supplies ready. Thankfully, the paint job itself is an automated task. It's simply programming my droids for the job to be done. It should take about 6 hours.
Droids, right. I will be inside the I will be inside the port judgment.
See you soon then.
And with that, he nods to everybody and pauses one more time and gives you a smile, Stucky, and shakes his head. And like he can't believe it's you. And then he turns and has one of his droids attend him and just comes up next to him as the two of them walk out. And he starts going over painting schematics to the droid. The droid just starts nodding, meep, 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 and just nodding, taking the commands as the two of them leave. And about that point, Ello appears next to you, MTV, and goes, you just hear Ello say in a very quiet but high-pitched sound saying, Stucky's losing water from his skull.
They are called tears.
Are they dangerous? Should he hydrate?
Not right now, but later.
Ello just sinks back away.
Sucky's heading immediately to his quarters.
Okay, you hear the heavy thuds of Stucky's just stomps up the ramp.
I need to better run my statistics. I always forget to add compassion. And then MT just nods to Elias and sort of walks off with the Ello.
Okay.
I just ask Elias. I take a beat because like everyone's moving, and I just go. So, how was gaming?
More grenades than I thought.
Oh, I'm not familiar with the new casino games. I usually play like kind of standard card games.
We didn't.
Did you guys come out ahead?
Yeah.
Sounds like a good game. I shrug and I walk back up the ramp.
Okay.
Myth, I think, at some point is going to do a quick knock at Stucky's door.
You hear like almost thrashing on the inside, just like yells and throwing stuff, and then just the door opens and like clearly he's messing. Yeah, what's up?
You all right?
Right is right. I took a shot of something at the casino, and I think I'm having an allergic reaction to it.
Came out on top?
400 credits. I never lose.
It's not nothing.
It's not. Did you yeah, you guys need anything?
No. I was just checking in on you, seeing if you were okay. That was a lot back there.
It was nothing. Thought somebody was gonna kill me, and turns out they're big old sweetheart. I spent good couple of years on my own when I didn't have to. That's no big deal, you know. That's one less person that I know for sure is gonna kill me. So happy day.
You know, having to confront that sort of thing is always hard.
Let me tell you what's hard.
I'm just saying, I know that if it were something that I was going through.
A Corellian maneuver in a gravity well. Now that's hard. This is I thought one thing, turns out it's something else. Easy.
You know that it's okay if you're not feeling right about it. What you're going through, it's okay.
I don't get shook. That's kind of the whole pilot thing.
Both of you make perception checks.
Sure.
Ooh.
Also, Nita, I'm having a little trouble hearing you.
Oh, sorry. Let me just move this a little closer.
Difficulty?
Difficulty is 2.
Yeet!
Is this better?
Yeah.
Much better, yeah.
All right. Reception. And you said it was 2 difficult?
2 difficulty, yeah. Both of you hear it easily. Don't worry about the threat. But both of you hear this. For a second, it takes you a moment. Y'all are in mid-conversation when one of you trails off. You look at each other to see if the other one is hearing what you're hearing, and it's... Yes. You're hearing what sounds like somebody beating against a wall. Just... And a muffled, loud noise of some kind coming from somewhere on the deck of the ship.
I'm gonna check that out.
Okay, yeah, now I do. Let's go see what it is.
I don't have a knife, so you can take the lead.
All right, let's see.
I'm not a medical droid.
Emotional, haha. Let's see if there's any more emotional revelations or whatever. Please, God, don't let it be a droid. Did we get rid of that droid? Fine, it doesn't matter. Let's just go. It's gonna brave up and go.
Okay. You and Myth exit your quarters. It doesn't take you long to find out where the noise is coming from. Just over the subtle hum of Stucky's vibro knife, just as you're holding it out in front of you, you guys can hear what sounds like heavy thudding sounds coming from the inside of the doctor's cell.
I am going to go inside.
Into the cell, or there's a screen up, right?
There's a secondary door, yes, where you could open the door and have a glass wall in front of you to see inside without having to open the cell for the prisoner.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. I wanna see what she's up to.
Okay. The door just slides open and you see that glass wall in front of you that separates you from the prisoner on the other side of the cell. She looks disheveled. She still has her hands in binders, and she is smashing herself up against the glass. As you open the door, you see she looks at you as the door opens up, and she screams something at you, but it's lost in the muted containment of the cell. She kicks against the glass again and again and again. But it looks like she's been at it for a while.
Is there any way where I could make her audible so we can hear what she's saying?
Yeah, you can turn on the comms.
Yeah, I'm going to turn on the comms.
Immediately blaring into the hallway is she's shouting in her native tongue. You're catching a few of it through the translation circuits, but she's essentially, the gist is what the computer is translating to you is she's demanding to be let out. She's going out of her mind. She says she's screaming curse words about getting out immediately.
And Doctor, I don't think you quite understand the situation that you find yourself in.
She takes a stop for a second. She just takes a step back and she's catching her breath. She doesn't reply. She just looks at you, just panting heavily.
You know, Doctor, any other day I would leave this to people more interested in your fate, because I just like to fly. I don't like the politics of what we do and who we are. But today is a very unique day in my life. And I'm interested in talking to you. So it's fitting that you would get my attention.
She rushes up to the window and places her hands against it, and she says, "Please let me out. Please. Please, I can't be in here another minute. I can't stand this. Please let me out. I'll be good. I'll just put me in the galley."
Is there any part of you that thinks that you're the good guy?
She slinks away from the door and turns her face away from you and puts her head in her hands and starts screaming into her palms. Doubles over and just lets out this throat-tearing scream.
Myth is going to press the mute button on the comms.
Hey, Myth. Can I have this one?
I'm trusting you.
I haven't let you guys down yet, I don't think.
No.
Broken ships notwithstanding, that wasn't really my fault. You can only do so much.
Tell you what. I'll be in the next room for about 5 minutes.
Sounds good.
The noise that was made through the intercom was loud enough to be heard. So just for the rest of the crew, y'all are just down the ramp. So that is definitely going to have been heard for anybody else. But yeah.
I'll go up, but if Stucky wants a bit of a narratively private beat,
I'm just gonna post
Elias
outside.
will arrive thereafter.
Yeah, I'm just gonna post just outside the entry to the, and just say,
I think as soon as Myth walks out, Stucky's gonna open the door and go into the cell with the doctor.
Okay. The moment the door opens, like an animal, she glances up and charges the doorway. Like a frenzied animal, she just throws herself towards the door.
I think, yeah, he'll have his hand blaster out. Like, get.
Okay, she's going to attempt to get past you.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so what would you like to do?
A non-lethal shot.
Oh, you're gonna shoot her. Okay.
If she bum rushes, he's going in like, I want to talk to you.
Yeah, she looks right past you towards the doorway, and she just goes, and she just charges forward with her hands in front of her like this.
Okay. Yeah, he's gonna.
Okay. In that case, it's an initiative roll, so you're gonna roll vigilance against her cool.
Okie dokie. I will. Use one from the auxiliary. Yeah.
4 successes. 1 success, 2 advantages. She is gonna get to go first.
Oh, she beat by what, 4 successes?
Well, no, I guess it's going to. Well, it's interesting because usually it's advantages that will kind of determine whether or not, because a success is a success. But in the case of initiative here, it actually does plot it out to how many successes you roll. So in this case, I thought she was going first. Looks like she's actually going second. So she's going to attempt to charge past you.
Okay.
You've got the initiative. What would you like to do?
I'm going to, with my first initiative, go in the cell and close it behind me.
Okay. So you step into the cell. She starts charging forward. You immediately hit the button. It goes, closes behind you. On her initiative, her action is quite simple. She is going to crash into you and start sobbing.
Okay.
And she starts saying something again in her native language, but you can't make it out because it's behind the choked sobs. But she switches to Galactic Common and she starts saying, "Please, you need to let me out. Please."
Is there any part of you that thinks that you're the good guy?
I don't care who's the good guy. I need out of it. She grabs you and starts like gripping your clothes as she starts screaming in your face.
You and your people killed all of mine. And you took my sister. And she's very much in a room. Probably like this. Would they let her out if she begged like you're begging?
She takes a step back and looks at you for a moment and says, "Look at me. Do I look like an Imperial to you? What, just because I wear the coat and I have the name and I'm not human. They wouldn't let me into their ranks. I work for them. I'm a contractor."
And we were smugglers. We got caught in the game. I got caught, my family got caught, and now you got caught. and now you're in a cage, and it's awful. I've dreamt about being in a cage, and I can't stand it. And I know what you must be feeling. So what do you want me to do about it?
Please. She edges over to you and she says, just for a minute, please let me out. I'll go anywhere else you want. Just don't put me back in this room.
I asked you if you thought by any chance that you were the good guy, because I've been wondering if I am. Because I hate you. I hate everyone in your uniform. I hate the guns you use, the ships you fly, the droids you command, and I have been wrong on one of those accounts, so I'm hoping I might be wrong about you, because I've been wrong about a lot lately.
Make a charm check.
Difficulty?
I'm going to put it up against her, so just make your roll.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to have her roll.
Ooh.
She... What do you want me to say? Do I regret what I've done? Is that what you want to hear?
I want to know the truth. I want to know that underneath the Imperial uniform and orders, that there is some semblance of a feeling, thinking, empathetic person. I want to believe that there is more to you than the Empire, and that there is more to me than the rebellion, and I don't know if that's the case anymore, so I just want the truth.
She seems to gather herself for a moment, takes a step back. She says, I'm just curious, is your homeworld a core world?
Born and raised in the Outer Rim.
Outer Rim. That's good distance away.
We were really good smugglers, and as soon as your betters found out that we were smuggling not just for the Empire but for the rebellion as well, they decided to put our operation to a stop with blaster fire.
A member of my family who I never met served as a master on the Jedi Council during the Clone Wars. And because of that relation, my family is made to suffer the scrutiny of the Empire, which is a mid-rim world. There is no escape. I do what I do because I had to survive, because my family has to survive. I chose them, and I chose myself, and I have no regrets. I don't choose the Empire or the Rebellion.
You know, and he's going to take out his vibro knife.
Her eyes immediately shoot to the knife as you draw it.
Half of being a pilot is about instincts. And I'm going to toss it at her feet.
She's looking at it confused for a second and glances up to you with an alarmed look on her face.
He's gonna step back from it. So if she goes for it, she's gonna get it before he does.
She starts to slowly squat down to grab it. She just gently squats down and just keeps her eyes on you.
My instincts tell me that maybe you're more than an Imperial. That maybe everybody else sees what's easy to see, but there might be something more to you. There are two ways out of this cage. One, you kill me and you figure it out. Two, you show the rest of them there's something else to you as well, and you help us.
She slowly picks up the vibro knife and is looking down at it. And she takes 2 steps towards you and holds it out to you. Handle first, after you hear it go and turn off. And she says, "What do you want me to do?"
You did it. Good first step. I trusted you not to stab me, and if you did, I trusted MT to put me back. That's what the rebellion is. That's what we are. Whether we're flying this insignia or not, we're friends. Maybe we could be your friend too. I'll see if I can work with them to get you a night in my quarters, heavily secured, and some proper food.
She nods slowly. "May I please take these off?" She holds up her hands.
I'm gonna get in trouble for this. And he takes them off.
As soon as the binders pop off, you see her flesh underneath is just raw and sweaty. It looks, those have been on there for over a week. She's just, the moment, like, since you basically left the rock skipper, she's had them on, and she just, you can see there's lots of scarring where it looks like there's been some cutting or some tearing, probably from her like struggling against them. But she immediately just, you can see the panic suddenly dissipate as they come off. She just goes, "Oh, God." Touches her arm.
I'm gonna ask MT if she's willing to come in and soothe the sores on your wrist. Be nice. She's a good one. And you might get a lollipop if you're nice.
She doesn't say anything, but she doesn't protest either.
You're smart. You don't get to be a doctor without being smart. So maybe after all this is said and done, you can use some of that in the right way. He's going to open the cell and close it right behind.
Are you going to close it on her?
Yep.
Okay. She takes a step forward with desperation in her eyes, but as the cell door closes, she doesn't fly back into a fit. She just rubs her hands and watches you. And as you've stepped out, you see immediately to your left is Myth, but also to your right, who is also shown up, you see Gran, who's standing there too. And anybody else who wants to be there, who to have been like...
I have the binders in my hand, and I think I want to hand them to Gran and go, she's had those on for a week. Figure her wrist could use some air. I'm gonna go talk with the boss and see if we might be able to provide some better accommodations for our prisoner.
You find what you were looking for in there?
I thought I was gonna kill her. Then I found out that wasn't my style. So I guess, yeah.
I'm going to award the party a light side point.
Thank you.
We need it.
As you step away, Gran is there just for a moment holding the binders and looking down at them, and he glances over at you, Elias. And the best way to describe this, Elias, is the way Gran is just holding himself there. He looks a little retrospective for a moment. And there's something, he gives you a look that it takes you a moment to understand what it is you're seeing before he just shrugs and moves away. But the best way for me to describe it so that it'll translate to you, Sam, is Amos. He is that guy. Is the look you see in Gran's face.
Oh, that's the most. I love that scene.
Gran doesn't do anything, but he just kind of tosses around the binders in his hand and moves over to where they are stored in the armory section and just presses a button. You see, comes out and he slides the binders in there. He says, looks back at you, Elias, and goes, I'll clean them later. And he closes it up. Starts whistling to himself as he leaves the hallway.
Elias has Prawl Jaw.
Mm-hmm.
And looks down the hall where Stucky went. Looks down the other way where Gran went.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll lean back against the wall just not too far away. Just resting their hand on their hip. Trying to stop everything from happening.
Elias, it's clear to you that there's more than just a rebellion versus empire war happening on the ship. And on the other side of that glass wall, as you can see in your same field of vision, Myth watching Stucky walk away and regarding Stucky. But you see on the other side of that glass wall is the doctor back on the bed, and she's just rubbing her face and rubbing her hands and just kind of wincing a little bit as she's rubbing her wrists. And that's where we're going to pause for our break. So let's take 10 minutes, get hydrated, realign, and come back. Yeah. We'll see you guys in 10 minutes.
Bye.
Easy to.
I'm bored.
We can go scream at the cat for another hour.
Nah, I'm tired of screaming at the cat.
Shut up with that! Be bored no more with 1985 games. Enjoy their vast variety of products and help bring your tabletop to a whole new level. With easy-to-use dungeon sticky notes. The deck of stories holds prompts and adventure hooks for any setting, and thousands of cutout game pieces with their dungeon craft.
You've come all this way for nothing, fool! The princess is mine! You'll never get away with this, Malachor!
Write everything down in your Hero Notes journal and start your adventure today! Visit the World Wide Web address 1985games.com and find many helpful products such as their Dungeon Craft series, battle maps, deck of stories, miniatures, dungeon notes, and now VHS dice. Again, that's 1985games.com.
Welcome back to Ember Squad. Let's jump into the second part of tonight's episode. We're going to start actually with you, Myth. The crew has largely come back now, and you can hear chatting going on multiple parts of the ship. Some of the voices echoing down from the lifts above, from the second deck down to the deck you're on right now. It's kind of spreading through the scuttlebutt what took place in the prisoners' quarters right now. She is still contained right now in the quarters, but her binders have been removed. Your data pad begins to flash an incoming signal.
Myth is going to quickly move to their quarters to receive it.
You dash over to your quarters. You step inside, and it says decrypting.
All right.
And as it does, you just see a bunch of data start filling up the screen, and it starts to decrypt right in front of you.
Okay, incoming transmissions, and I'm going to start sorting through.
Okay. What you get, there is a system called the Veterus system, and it gives coordinates, known location of a rebel base, small rebel contingent, a garrison located on the system of Veterus. Seems to be a responsive to where your best bet to reconnect with the rebellion is going to be. And it gives coordinates to where you can find it. Looks like it's in the Outer Rim.
All right.
And then underneath that, in a very personal tone to it, is, are you okay?
I'll respond. We are safe.
Begins to transmit. Message sent.
Thank you, Mama. All right. And I'm immediately going to go to
Tillo?
Yeah, to Tillo to report.
Okay. You make it over to Tillo. He's on a data pad too. And he just, as you approach him, you can see Tillo needs to shave. He's kind of scratching at the side of his face. Looks like he's probably been up a lot too. Maybe not sleeping quite so well. And as you move over to him, he just goes,
easy now.
Just because we're the same rank doesn't mean you can't announce yourself when you walk into a room, you know.
Outrank you. Thank you. 5 seconds. I have a location for us.
Let me see that. He takes it. Veterus. I'm not familiar with it. This is reliable.
Probably best that way. Reliable intel, yes. I probably owe a favor because of it, but probably our best bet to regroup. It's something.
All right. As soon as this paint job's done on the ship, we're out of here.
We jump.
Hey. Good work.
Like I said, I probably owe a favor or two, but it's...
Promise them the medal you'll get.
It's fine. I think the sooner that we unload our good friend, the doctor, the better for all of us.
Yeah, I heard about what happened. What's your take on that?
I think Stucky needed to exorcise some demons.
He leans down and takes one of his legs and pulls it up and crosses it over the other and just kind of leans back in the chair for a second and pops his back. And he puts it back down and says, all right.
I don't think there's any redemption for that, but I think Stucky just needed to see something for himself.
Stucky's been confronting a lot of demons the past couple of days. From the droid to this. Do you think he's okay?
I think so. I think we're all going to be facing quite a few before this mission's out.
Myth. He leans forward and takes your hand for a second and looks at you and says, honest assessment.
Honest assessment?
Is your squad member okay?
I think he is now.
Okay. He leans back and he says, okay then. He's our only pilot, so he's got to be 100%.
Stucky knows when to pull through.
I think so too.
All his bluster, he's a professional.
How much do we owe this guy who's painting the ship?
Narumna's not got a good reputation with him. close with Stucky's family.
Man, the hits keep coming for that guy.
Yeah. There was a whole thing out on the flight deck you missed. A bit of a reunion.
You think it's a security issue?
No, I don't think so. In fact, I think that it's a boon.
All right.
He's managed to lock down the hangar for us. We're going to be the only ones in or out.
You see, he stiffens a little bit and he says, and you feel good about this?
As good as anyone can feel about anything.
As far as I'm concerned, Myth, you're the intelligence officer of Ember Squad. If you tell me that we're secure, then I believe you.
I would like to. Could I proactively just do like an assessment of the situation?
Yeah. Trust but verify.
Trust but verify, of course.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. What would you like to ascertain? Are you you're trying to sight check Zibit?
Basically, yeah. I think what I'd like to do is I'd like to sort of lean into Zibit, like the situation going between him and Stucky, as well as just sort of like a broad scope of the situation at hand. From a
Make a leadership roll.
That was kind of what I was angling towards.
Yep, make a leadership roll. This is
Difficulty?
literally you just like assessing your squad, and difficulty is 2. Standard difficulty on this.
All right, sounds good. I would like to use an Ox Crew boost if I could. I'd like to make sure I do a good job.
Okay, in which case, this is from Laura.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you so much for that boost die, Laura. Make that roll.
1 success, 5 advantages.
Okay. Zibit's on the level. Your instincts about him is that he is... Your instincts is that Zibit was doing just a slightly better job than Stucky was at holding an emotion upon seeing Stucky. Seemed like maybe Stucky cracking first kind of gave him permission to not have to. But you get the impression that Zibit he seems to be emotionally invested, yes. And that his reason for locking down the hangar seems to be sincere. Now, that does not encompass the wider range of some of the stuff. You were talking about the whole dynamic of what's going on. Every bone in your body tells you cannot trust Dr. Gillisa.
Mm-hmm.
Every fur on your skin, every hair, everything tells you that while she may have shown a side of herself that was slightly softer, there's no doubt in your mind that this creature who poisoned people for the Empire to develop biochemical weapons, which is one of the most horrific things that people have ever created to use against the rebellion. There's no doubt in your mind that if she could gas the entire crew and steal this decimator back to the Empire, she'd do it without blinking.
And I think at that point, turning the conversation towards Dr. Gilliso, the fur on Myth's face is going to bristle. And she's going to say, Gilliso is a snake in the grass. We can't trust hers. And it's a miracle that Gran hasn't yeeted her out of the airlock yet.
You know, Gran may be a new soldier, but he definitely seems to understand how important the chain of command is. I gave him an order and he's following it, so that's helpful.
Honestly, if he did, though, I wouldn't blame him.
Look, Myth.
As far as I'm concerned, the sooner we get her off the ship, the better for everybody. As soon as she's not our problem, the better.
Well, let's see if we can get rid of her on Veterus. If we can get rid of her on Veterus, then I say I'll take full responsibility for it.
All right. Is there anything you need from me?
No, I think maybe we need to rally the crew, get everybody in one room together, reconnect, and We need to wrap this up because
I heard we might be getting dinner.
Dinner? What do you mean?
I think Stucky wanted to have a family dinner, and sort of a little bit of a reunion with ZBT.
Oh, well, wouldn't hurt morale. All right, we could do dinner.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that was an open invitation, but I'll have to check.
Well, if there's going to be dinner, it's going to be done on board the ship. Nobody. I don't want anybody wandering around the station.
All right.
Did I hear that Bosk was at the casino today? Did you hear about this?
What? This is the first I'm hearing about it.
Yeah, I haven't got a chance to talk to Elias yet, but I heard that Bosk was at the casino today and that he managed to grab a collar before he left. And I wanted to know if any of our people had seen that or been involved with it. Nobody was killed, so I'm assuming it went well.
That's the first I'm hearing about it. That's a huge security breach.
All right, well, we're going to have some really lively dinner conversations tonight.
Oh, God. Elias and Myth is going to rush out of the room.
Cut to, does anybody have anything that they would like to do? Speak now. Otherwise, we can cut to dinner. Thumbs up. All right. So, much like the crew of the Serenity, for the first time in a hot minute, this crew is gathered around a table in the galley in the center of this decimator. And food is being put on plates. And all kinds of smells and tastes are filling the air. Zabit's brought some of his personal cooking, but a lot of this is just spiced up foodstuffs from the areas on the ship that are still stocked with food for the troops that we're going to be using the decimator. So Imperial rations and a couple of home food brews and blends from Zibbit. I shouldn't say. I want to call him Zabit because I'm getting so close to Zazrit every time I say his name. So Zibbit takes the side of the table and is just carrying on and on and on. When Gran and Tillo enter the room and resume their spots at the table, Tillo takes his spot at the head of the table so he can put his chair next to him, but he slides into his chair, into the seat, and he starts piling food onto his plate, and he looks across the table, and Elias, you get the impression that Tillo's giving you the look of, oh, I know. He's looking at you.
All right. You know the way that you load a plate when you're hoping to escape before like your parents ask you a question? Like, if you can just load fast enough and be gone.
Yes,
so like obviously this is a table, but like some seats are going to be closer and farther from others, and like Tillo's already kind of planted his flag about where he sits.
This is,
the opposite side.
This is remarkably like watching Luma pile spaghetti onto her plate and trying to avoid specific questions about her night activities. Very similar to one of those scenes. But yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I think that as Elias is so concerned and focused on Tillo, hasn't noticed that Myth has been glaring daggers at them and MT and Stucky.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just before, if Elias tries to do the motion to leave. So, did you meet anyone interesting when you were gambling?
Tillo speaks up and goes, yeah. How was gambling today? I heard it was quiet. Nothing happened.
Just the usual.
We won 400 credits.
We did.
That surprises him. He glances over and then he stops and says, MT, why don't you sit down with us at the table?
You are going to have to scooch. And
Gran immediately picks up his plate and scoots over a little bit and makes room for you.
I look to Stucky like a conspiratorial sibling, wondering if the other one's going to crack.
There is a genuine look of like head emptiness on Stucky. Like Stucky truly believes nothing happened at the casino for the most. Isn't that what always happens? Some tough comes in, tries to
I'm
rile
alone
up
in
the
this hell.
Nobody told Stucky. I don't think.
True.
Who you were dealing with?
True. Elias made the check and Stucky. Oh no. Yep. No.
It was
Okay. They sit down, and they're going to just start chewing.
I did. I don't know if you know the name, but I did say that Bosk had when we were on the casino floor. So you might have heard me say the name, but I did say the name. I said the name, but I don't know if you know what that means.
Oh, it rings. It's like if I were to say like Justin Fields to somebody that doesn't watch football. It's just like that's a name.
That's a name.
So it's just some tough came in, tried to rile up the place. We got money. The usual. Another day at the casino.
Some tough. Yeah?
Yeah, strong grip.
Grip. So you encountered this individual and made contact?
Oh, yeah. It's not so tough. I could have taken him if I wanted to.
Trandoshan fellow?
Yes, Bosk.
I guess, yeah.
Thank you for the confirmation. Stucky, do you have any idea who you just dealt with?
Yeah, sounds.
We did not deal with him. Stucky did not take his bet.
Okay, but one of them was dangerous. Bounty hunters in the other room now knows your faces.
It wouldn't be the first time.
We did not give our names.
I gave my name.
Did you?
Yeah.
That was ill-advised.
Listen, everybody comes into the casino talking big. That's half of the game. You've got to intimidate the house to get bigger earnings. And this guy happened to be working against the house. So really kind of a blessing, because if the guy can't pay his bills, then what would have happened when we started playing? I would have wiped the floor with him and he would have been able to pay me. So really, if you think about it, this Bosk fella, if he's as bad as they say, really kind of helped us out.
With a mouth half full, I go, "What's a Bosk?"
Apparently, it's like some big deal, guy. I don't know.
Massive security risk. If he had been looking for us, we would have been in massive trouble.
Is he an imperial?
Bounty hunter, freelancer.
Goddamn.
But has been known.
Are we in trouble?
Yeah, look, Tillo leans over his plate and says, I don't expect everyone to have a running memory of who's who and who's what, but never
I'll
mind.
have to put together.
The bounty hunter was not posing any. Apologies, Myth.
I was just going to say I'll put together a security briefing. It's fine.
The bounty hunter joined the table, established their immediate target, and went about their ways. There was only a fraction of immediate danger for our crew, and it went away almost immediately.
Listen, you're not gonna find saints or Jedis at a gambling table. There are gonna be some bad eggs.
I'm just glad y'all are okay. That's all that matters to me. But in case there's any question in the future, Bosk is one of the most lethal bounty hunters out there, and the Empire has definitely employed bounty hunters to take care of rogue rebel elements that they are having trouble tracking down. So just be aware of that.
What would you like the protocol to be if we encounter a bounty hunter such as Bosk in the future?
I don't know. It seems like you all handled it pretty well this time around, but I think moving forward, on top of handling it the way you handled it, definitely notify your commanding officer.
Understood.
If you had a strange encounter like that in the past, good idea.
You two are my commanding officers. You both outrank me. I have no blame.
I do have some news, though. Myth has been able to uncover the location of a rebel base that is here in the Outer Rim. It's not too far from here either. It's about 3 days, give or take, in hyperspace. So as soon as the paint job is done in the next hour, we are going to be out of here. It's time to get back in the fight. Our friends are counting on us. I don't know where the rock skipper is. It might take us some time to get back there. And even though we had orders to escort Dr. Gilliso to the secret base, I don't know that our odds of finding it ever again are going to be very high. So for now, I'm going to find whoever the CO was. He stops and says, yeah?
I was going to say, point of, just from, I was going to make sure that the shop talk stayed after ZBT left.
After who left?
Because isn't Zibbit at the table too?
Yeah. Zibbit is at the table, yeah.
I was going to make sure that Chop Talk got left for when we were not in Ixtcom.
He pauses and he looks across the table at Zibbit, and Zibbit's just eating his food and looks up and goes,
"Oh, am I not supposed to be here for this?"
You're fine. You're fine.
You see, Tillo looks genuinely embarrassed and annoyed at that particular moment, like he'd forgotten Zibbit was at the table for a minute, and just says, Zibbit, I'd appreciate it if you didn't repeat anything I just said. And Zibbit says, "I'm a shop mechanic, and the safety of this ship means something to me now. So you don't have to worry about that.
All right.
Besides, the Empire literally ruined my family business and killed people that were important to me. You couldn't find anyone more loyal on this rock than me. In fact, if I wasn't rooted here trying to start my life again, I might go with you."
Well, we can always use good engineers.
"Well, then keep in mind, anytime you come by Covey 2, there's an engineer willing to help you."
I slap him on the back and say, "Good to know." And then I give him another ration can of Imperial issue beverage.
"Oh, disgusting. Thank you."
He takes it and says,
"I'm sad to see you leaving, though, Lon. It's nice to be able to talk shop with someone else around here who understands my language and isn't an angry Wookiee."
You hear across the table, Naruno just the Wookiee just kind of laughs at that and takes a long drink.
"You run a fancy shop here. Much more fancy than any work I ever did. I worked in a machine shop. We made parts."
"Well, don't be too down on yourself. I'm brilliant."
Like
to good engineers.
The more Zibbit talks, the more misty stuck he's getting, and it just felt like hiding in his drink.
Okay. Dinner goes by pretty much uneventfully. And as you guys start wrapping up the evening, one of the droids comes into the room. The droid looks suspiciously very close to the same model as Ello. It looks like just a large disc, except for it has a very long center arm hanging out the bottom of it that hooks over and has graspers at the end. And it looks like it's holding a cloth, and it just comes hovering up and starts speaking in this droid kind of like vibratorial tones that just emanate from it. And as it does so, Zazbit says, "Well, good. That's perfect timing." Turns and looks at it and says, "You all want to step outside and take a look at your ship? It's all done."
Yeah, this is... Yeah, I mean, that thing doesn't need to be all in the area.
Oh no, I forgot. You were afraid of droids.
Shut up.
You were afraid of droids when you were just a little boy. Now you're grown up. I should have known. Sorry about that. Come on, little flying guy. I'll help you out of here.
He goes, "Okay, it might have been a little bit before. I've always been scared of him, okay?"
After the emotional story of the terrible, turns out, you all moving outside the Poor Judgment, as you all kind of get a step back, if you can imagine, I almost picture this as sort of like a if this was a show on Disney Plus and you get the beautiful concept art in the after credit scene, you would see the silhouette of the crew of the Poor Judgment Ember Squad standing side by side looking at this brand new, newly painted Decimator, which now looks hot rod red with these two yellow stripes going down the sides of both sides of it. It looks shiny, nice and chrome, hot rod red with the yellow stripe, and it looks like a brand new ship. Does not look Imperial from first glance. I mean, the silhouette of it, obviously, the flight deck, obviously, but everything else, not at first glance.
Inconspicuous. I love it.
Oh, now this is
Make it loud and let it hide in plain sight.
Not bad at all. Zibbit, not bad at all. Hello. Time to update your scans of the exterior.
Sure. Let me start scanning now. Zips around the ship, starts doing scans.
Is the paint still wet?
No, it's nothing like that. We don't use a liquid paint. That's embedded into the hull. It's faster and easier that way. Why, did you want to make mischief? I can leave you a spare can if you like. Just don't get any on your skin. It takes weeks to get out.
We might need one anyway in case someone scratches the paint job on any future landings.
Well, you know what? You give me a brick and I make it fly. All right? This thing is well beyond a brick. I can fly this. It actually has engines and stabilizers and thrusters and VTOL engine. Moving the handling.
We're losing. You start losing your pilot as he just gazes off the ship lovingly. And about that point, Zibbit just says, "Here you go." And he reaches underneath one of the droids, and you just see him unscrew a canister, and he hands it over to you, Elias, and goes,
"Like I said, be very careful what you get that on. If it gets on cloth, it's not coming out."
And then he turns to Tillo and the rest of you all, and he says,
"You all should go. Don't waste any more time here. The longer, even with the paint job, you sit here, the bigger target you become. Lots of people come through this station."
Yeah. Should start loading in Ember Squad?
I didn't get a chance to talk to you very much, but
and he turns to you, MT, and says,
but you're the most unique medical droid I've ever met. I'd be happy to maintenance you anytime you needed it.
There you go, flirting again. And she just turns and walks, but gives a little a hand.
And then you just kind of wave. He kind of does the anime style, like rubs the back of his head a little bit. It's like little like drop inside his face.
And he says, "Oh, she may not be wrong. I should probably reflect on that."
Zibbit, that is gonna live forever in my nightmares.
Don't worry, Stucky. I'll make sure to omit you from the wedding invitation. Hey, but seriously now.
He moves over to you and puts 4 hands on your arms, and he just says,
"Take care of yourself out there, and know that you've always got a port when you need one."
Stucky's just gonna like give in to the moment and give him a big hug, and he goes, "And don't you forget, you've got the best damn pilot on call whenever you need me."
I know. The rebellion needs you. You'd make your parents very, very proud of what you're doing right now.
Rebellion only got me because I was scared to come back to you, man. All right.
Fear's a good teacher.
Yeah. You need me, just call.
pats you on the shoulder and says,
"Will do. Hey,"
looks over at Tillo and says,
"You take care of my friend here."
Tillo nods and says, "He's doing a fair good job taking care of us." And he sticks his hand out and says, "Zibbit, thank you. You've shown us a lot of hospitality when we really needed some hospitality." Zibbit shakes his hand and he goes,
"You got a friend of the rebellion here. Just stay safe out there. It's getting uglier by the day."
He nods. And with that, Zibbet nods to everybody and points at you as he's stepping away, Lon, and says, "Don't forget, come back here sometime."
We'll start a project together. It'll be fun.
Yeah, maybe we'll start a whole shop where all we do is just chop up Imperial starships and make them new again.
With that, the big lug turns around and moving his girth across the metal plates of the hangar. You just hear him studding away as like a small legion of these little hovering droids carrying empty paint cans and cloths and laser tools, all just following after him.
Yep, that's my side to get inside.
It's been enough time to get a patch, just like a small patch, right? You
want to give him a patch?
Just if Elias couldn't have been doing that in a rear panel, then as Stucky goes past, I'd love to trip him so we can handprint onto that patch.
I'm all
Good
for
luck.
it.
Yeah, tripping this guy would be a tough call. But are you basically trying to get him to like get the patch on him, basically?
Get him on the ship.
Okay.
Get a nice handprint for Stucky on the ship.
Okay. Easy peasy.
Admittedly, the tripping is trolling it little civ way possible, but shush.
Hell of like
you want to get his handprint on the ship? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good luck.
He considers that for a moment and says,
"If you weren't so small and nice, I might not be willing to do this, but give me that paint can."
Droid comes over and goes, sprays it down, and he goes,
Weeks and weeks.
and he moves over and he presses his hand up against the side of the Poor Judgment. Big, thick fingers just waits a few seconds, pulls it off, and you can see it's just like a darker red on red, but you can clearly see the handprint.
There you go.
Was Elias also trying to trip Stucky?
That was their target. Yep.
So since that part is already, that's where you tripped him, and Stucky's head is gonna like land next to Zibbet's spot on there. What the?
Nice. And yeah, with that, he takes a step back to watch you all board up onto the Poor Judgment. Tello counts for everybody, tells everybody to strap in, and you get the order, Stucky. He says, "All right, Stucky, get us out of here. Get us to Vetris fast as you can."
Will do. Gotta touch the stick.
As a tiny note, can we say we also restocked the ship at all with any real food and other some basic?
Spend a light side point.
All right.
We have so few.
Well, we have so many, so yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I think as Stucky is in the cockpit, like there's like a really big smile on his face, and Elias, co-pilot seat. My hand is still wet, so you've got to. It's about time you learned the takeoff protocols.
Ceiling cat emerges, eyes wide.
And Myth will get out of the co-pilot seat and be like, "Pilot mates."
Yeah, sorry, Myth, but can't touch the stick until it dries. All right, and he's just gonna take Elias through step by step.
Okay. Make a piloting check, Elias, as you take the flight stick, grabbing in both hands. You start getting talked through this. Go ahead and make your check. This is an assisted roll.
Okay.
So you're gonna make your piloting space, and combine the dice here. So
okay.
Actually, let me ask you this, Stucky. Are you taking Elias through it, or are you just talking Elias through it?
I'm taking Elias through it. So I'd imagine the co-pilot seat has like duplicate controls. Mm-hmm. So like he's got his hand hovering over the stick in case Elias goes left, like or does something wrong.
In case we get like a leaving space talk from Galaxy Quest scene going on here. Okay.
All right. So those are your main thrusters. Go ahead, flick that on.
The whole ship begins to thrum with power.
All right, and these pedals, that's going to be your lift. Gently. Just
make your
tap.
All right, y'all, coordinate this. Combine your piloting space abilities.
All right.
How many do you have?
I have proficiency in 2 ability dice.
Okay.
Okay, so 1 yellow, 2 green is you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
And I can swap on my base attribute, right? So swap in 1 proficiency die. Okay. I'd like an Ox boost so that I don't wreck this lovely new paint job.
Thank you, Wraith, for the Ox boost.
Thank you. What's
go
the
ahead and make
to exist and to unpark?
The difficulty is 1.
Oh my gosh, and I'm playing Elias, so I don't have to put the setback die that Sam would have to do for anything related to parking. Look, I'm the reason there's a bad reputation for helping people and parking.
I know, that's what I'm talking about.
1 success, 4 advantages. Elias, you see for a second, Elias, there's this surge of anxiety because when the horizon shifts left and right and you feel the ship kind of jolt a little bit, you realize you're not touching the ground anymore. And everything you do with that stick now is determining everything that this ship, with everybody on it and everything that it is, every movement it makes is going to be based off of what you do. And that anxiety falls away as you begin to push the thruster forward, and you just immediately see the expanse of space swallow your entire field of vision as the hangar vanishes from both left and right peripheral vision. And you guys exit the hangar, and that heavy, like loud sound of the engine is immediately swallowed by the vacuum of space and becomes a distant thrumming hum. And you see the sensors, you clear space dock as you fly out. And you see a sky filled with fireflies of light reflecting off the hulls of thousands of ships that are coming in and out of here. All of them well out of range and nothing to worry about. But like sailors of old who would become intoxicated by the freedom of pulling a sail tight as they were sailing out to sea with nothing but possibilities and endless adventure in front of them, you suddenly, for a split second, Elias, completely understand Stucky's obsession.
Oh, look at that. Gambling and flying. Calm down, Ace. You're going to take my job.
This is so much bigger than a gun.
Yeah, I guess it is. But looks like you got a fine handle on it. So, and he's gonna call back to Myth. Myth, you got the coordinates where we need to go?
I'll program them into the navigator right now.
Okay.
As you're programming them in, Tillo gets on the comm and says, MT, I need you down in the galley now.
Coming.
As you guys are leaving system, MT, you get down into the galley and you see Gran is on the table, lying on his back, and he's like holding himself. You can see he's shivering a little bit. And as you come over, Tilla says, I don't know what happened to him. He was fine just a second ago. He started throwing up, and now he's like this.
I made a medical diagnostic. I approach Gran. What is he clutching?
So it looks like he's clutching something, but as you get close to him, you see the alarming signs. He's not clutching anything. His hands are clawed. They're balled in on himself, like he's had some kind of spasm or something.
Seizing. Yeah,
it looks like it, but he's not. It doesn't look like his body, like his eyes are open and he seems to be aware of you when he sees you walking in. So it doesn't look like he's in a seizure right now, but it looks like he's just.
Okay, medical diagnostic.
All right, make a medicine check. The difficulty of this is going to be 2, but I'm going to give 2 setback dice to this.
Okay.
If you have any talents or skills, it'll get you
Setback
past
or
that.
purple? No, that's difficulty.
Setback are the black dice. Difficulty dice are purple. Yeah.
So 2 setbacks. I'm going to use an ox crew.
Okay, cool. Ox crew boost. That's going to be from Breeks. Thank you, Breeks.
Okay.
Make that roll. Oh, but you forgot to roll difficulty dice. Roll 2 purples.
Apologies. I thought
okay.
I thought that was in place of the difficulty.
Nope, that's okay. You still succeed spectacularly with 4 successes and 3 advantages. As you come over to him, you start immediately scanning him and checking his pulse and running a scan over him, and he just starts going,
can't feel fingertips or my toes right now.
Was it sudden, or did it gradually take over you?
This has happened before.
Do you have any medication that you require?
As the scan starts coming back, you start detecting there are levels, not high levels, but there are levels of toxin in his bloodstream. And immediately what you get back from the medical scan is it looks like it's had a corrosive effect on many of his vital organs. It looks like it's been over time.
Yeah, is this just exposure to the experiments that have been happening on his planet?
That many successes, yes.
Yeah.
That's what it reads to you immediately, the diagnosis.
Yeah.
Is he just starts...
Would I understand whether a Simpack or a Stimpack would be like alleviating of any of these symptoms?
You could definitely, you could ease them.
I immediately administer and
plot the Stimpack. Put the Stimpack in the box that begins to fill up his system, and he's just.
It will just be a moment. The pain should subside.
No, it's better. It's a lot better. It feels good. And he starts to flex his hand again. He goes,
take a few deep breaths. Tillo, water, please.
Tillo just nods immediately and heads over to the galley. Starts getting a ration of water.
Can you sit up?
I think so. Just give me a sec. Here we go. And he starts to lean up for a second. And
yes.
You see some facial tics too. Mm-hmm. You see as he's trying to he reaches up and immediately just starts going, it's been a while since I had one of these.
How many have you had?
Maybe 4 or 5. 5, I think.
When was your last one?
He looks over at Tillo and he looks at you like he's bracing for being admonished, and he goes, a couple of days ago.
Understood. Will you please follow me? I believe you need some rest. We will do the questions later. Yeah. Gets up. And as soon as he gets up, his knee buckles for a second. He goes, no. I hold him.
No. You hold him and you realize there's no way he's standing on his own. And you prop him up and he's like, okay, I'm good. And with that, he leans on you and nods, and you are taking him to the med bay, I guess. There's like a small med.
I more offer my arm as a steady sort of immovable rod, as it were, a sort of steadying arm. So as I am not moving him for him, I am just simply offering aid to move at his pace.
Okay. He grabs hold of you and he moves at he's pushing it a little too much. You can tell, MT.
Yeah.
You don't know if he's trying to prove something, but maybe he's trying to prove to himself that he's fine.
I'm truly just trying to get him out of a room where he needs to pretend.
Okay. You get him. Are you taking him to the quarters, the med bay? Where are you headed?
I'm taking him back to his quarters.
Okay. The doors of the quarters open up. His bed is unmade. He steps in and immediately sits down on it and just says, I just need to sleep it off. It'll be fine. He immediately leans back and goes, A few seconds later, Tillo rolls in and puts the water next to the bed and says, "Drink all of that and do everything that MT tells you, or I'll make sure you never pick up a blaster rifle again. Do you understand?" And Grant looks over him a little surprised, and Tillo says, "Next time you have something like this happen, you report it. You're putting everyone, including yourself, in danger. You report it. Do you understand?" And he goes, "Yeah, I understand." And he says, "Okay, rest up. Get better. I'll be back to check on you in a little bit, okay?" Tillo just nods to you as he wheels out, and Gran just waves you away. "You're going to miss the light show. Go back up to the flight deck. You're fine. You're fine."
I am my own light show. I choose to stay by your side.
Oh. Great.
Get some rest. I will not be asking too many questions, but please do drink the water, and we will discuss when you are rested.
He nods, leans back, and takes the water.
I think MT just sort of sets her hand on the bedside in a sort of nurturing mama above a sick kid kind of gesture. Not touching him to patronize him, but just in a, "I'm here."
Okay. Tillo gives you a nod as he closes the door to the quarters. Make me an astrogation check if you would, please.
Who, me?
No, I'm sorry. That's right. This is Stucky.
Okay. I was like, I can. I have a pretty good one, but
Right.
I don't think I'm going to be flying Gran.
What's the difficulty here?
Okay, so you are headed way off the beaten path for this one.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. With that in mind, condition is in great shape. You're not having to rush through calculations, thankfully. So this is just going to be a... No, it does not. Okay, so it's going to be a standard difficulty of 2, but it's going to come with 2 setback dice.
Okay. I get to remove one of those.
I'm sorry, 3. It's going to be 3 difficulty with 2 setback dice because there is no starport where you're headed.
Gotcha. And I will be using an auxiliary. And he's kind of gotten into the habit, and it hasn't really stopped of he's explaining everything that they're doing.
To Elias?
Yeah. And then we just put in the information from Myth, and bingo bango. I am having a hard time. This is the hardest part for me. It's less flying and more computers. I just that's 0 success and 1 threat. Yay!
Okay. Okay. I know exactly how that's gonna. Yeah. Okay. He's talking you through it, and a few moments later, you see him reach down and grab the controls and just push that throttle up, and the lights, the stars in front of you just go into white lines, and you guys explode into hyperspace, just immediately erupting into the fastest possible speed. As the decimator takes off, the poor judgment leaves Kobe 2. You guys are all headed toward Veteris, excuse me. It is going to be a 3-day journey. Do y'all have anything you would like to do, or shall we George Lucas swipe to the Veteris system? Is anybody got any projects or anything that they would like to do?
I have a tiny one.
Yeah, what's up?
I'd like to make a scale model of the ship using spare parts and the fact that we also have a little bit of paint available to us.
Okay. Make a mechanics check for me.
Alrighty.
Using what parts scrounged together, I'll set the difficulty at 2, but I'll give you a setback die.
I would like to use a ox crew die.
I love it. You're using an ox crew for this. That's brilliant. Thank you so much, Leo Ambermain.
So let's see here. It's my mechanics roll. I'm using a boost from ox crew. You said 2 difficulty plus 1 setback.
Correct.
Okay. Here we go.
you set to work making a scale model of, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this again. I'm going to give you guys a light side point. Whenever I can think of a reason why when you guys do little things like that would boost crew morale, basically you set to work. Ello's helping you with the little bitty, tiny little graspers. It's just like inserting small little metal rods into areas of the superstructure to give it more stability. That only his little bitty tiny arms could get into those little small spaces, and he sets it up, and you see little sparks and a little wisp of smoke coming up as he just welds it in. Like a little, like a wire, like a soldering iron. Just... What is everybody else doing?
I would like to go over all of the medical files that have been provided on Gran so that I can do as much research before cross-examining his new information that he's been withholding.
Okay. Yeah, you do have a medical base. You're actually not going to have to suffer any setback dice from this. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say this is definitely going to be a medicine check.
Okay.
And you're going to get 2 bonus dice to this.
Okay.
And the difficulty is going to be 2.
And bonus dice are, what
Blue
am I adding? The blue ones? Oh, boosted.
2 boost dice.
Okay.
So, and then you'll have 2 purple dice. So just standard difficulty.
Oh, apologies. I thought you said there wouldn't be a difficulty.
Oh, difficulty is 2, so 2 purples and then 2 boost dice to go with it.
So so I rolled my medical and then I added the purple as well in a secondary roll.
3 threats, so 3 advantages, 4 successes, and a triumph.
Yeah.
Amazing. Spectacular critical success. Here's what you learned. Yes, Gran looks like he's probably been exposed multiple times to the toxins that were being developed in Okaram.
Yeah.
Chances are this is probably
continue. I have questions after.
Yeah, it looks like it's had a severe degenerative effect on some of the vital internal organs.
Yeah.
Most notably, his central nervous system seems to be attacked by this.
Okay. Based on that information, I mean, I guess we're going to have to find out. My main questions would immediately be, does it seem like it is continuing to deteriorate, or was it only the limited exposure, the exposure that already happened, and these are the ramifications of that, or
you want to know if it's progressing?
Is it progressing? Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it's progressing.
Okay.
It looks like it's just damaged him. Basically, it's damaged, but it doesn't look like. However, there are still trace elements of the toxin in his blood.
Okay, we'll have to. That's my number one concern then.
Yes, it looks like
removing the traces.
That is definitely going to help the attacks.
Yeah.
Significantly, but it looks like he's going to require some inpatient care if he's going to get this fixed. But yeah, judging from the looks of it, but also with that level of medical success, MT, you with the triumph and that many successes and that many advantages, you take the next couple of days to do things like draw his blood, which he protests against. And mostly he reveals to you that he's terrified of needles. It tells you a story about how him and his little brother, when they were younger, he got stabbed with a vibro knife, and his parents are very upset, and he's been scared of needles ever since.
Sure.
And then corrects the story later and says, okay, maybe it was just a regular knife. No, it was a vibro knife. But
okay.
Synthesizing, going through the blood, analyzing what he's got. As you are skipping through it, you are looking through all your extensive medical files, MT. And slowly, as your logic circuits start putting together of like what's wrong with him and how to treat it, you start posing yourself curious questions on how this treatment might be expanded, which leads to you re-examining, doing a second blood draw, taking samples, researching, looking things up on the HoloNet. And over the course of the next couple of days, you start developing a baseline treatment for the toxin that Dr. Gillisa was creating. you start coming up with that many successes. You start coming up with what you believe to start being a baseline counter agent.
Well, dang. Can I get a heck yeah?
Because that was a monstrously awesome roll just now. So 4 successes, 1 triumph, 3 advantages.
I pass out the advantages to each one of my crew members.
Okay.
And the advantage is letting them know that I am working on a possible antidote to some of the effects of this poison.
Illo is beside himself. He says, "You can do that?"
Apparently, yes. And it is all thanks to Grant's exposure and his continued fight for all of us.
Well, don't let that go to his head. There's some good news, though.
Yes. This could potentially be, well, life-saving.
If we can turn her over to the Empire and make all of her work useless. Yeah.
Not a bad day, sir.
I think when Myth finds out about this, Myth is going to add, this is definitely something great that we can add into our reports. If this gets disseminated through the Empire that we found a counter agent, that's a boost to them. That's a boost to us and a hit to them.
Bothan Spy Network would benefit greatly from this. We just need to make sure that we've got something first.
Yes.
But it sounds like we've got the startings of it.
As soon as we're ready, I'll spread it.
Well, what to say, MT? Keep up the good work. Holy shit.
I am all the best parts in one.
All right. Unless there's anything else. In that case, day 3, right on time, you start getting the chirped alert up in the flight deck, Stucky, that you're about to exit hyperspace. You see the poor judgment has entered system and is about to exit hyperspace.
Just gonna kind of press on the comms. All right, everybody, we're coming out of hyperspace, so hold on to something and don't follow your butt.
You immediately exit hyperspace because all the lights just kind of the universe kind of returns to normal as the tunnel disappears and all the stars return to pinpoints of light in the sky. And I need you to make a piloting check. Space piloting check with 2 setback dice.
All right, I get to remove one of those.
Fast reflexes, good thing.
So I have 1. Oh, what's the difficulty?
Difficulty. Ooh. Difficulty's 2, but guess what? I'm spending a dark side point.
Oh,
so I'm gonna make one of those difficulty. I'm gonna raise that to 1 red and 1 purple.
Okay.
You have advantage.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
forget.
You are the next roll, so you do get a bonus die from Gina. Yes.
And I would like to use an auxiliary as well.
Okay, crank it out. So this time, thank you, Reverse Aquamath.
Here we go.
4 successes, 3 threats. Okay.
Why do I keep rolling threat?
So that threat, those threats, I'm going to put those threats. That's going to go to system strain on the ship.
I'll take it instead.
Okay, that's right, because you're an ace pilot and you can do that. Then that's reflected in the fact when you come out of hyperspace, it's a wall of metal right in front of you.
What the fuck?
You immediately you jerk down on the controls, and as you flip the ship over, you kind of do a Han Solo maneuver where you kind of bring it over end, and you barely almost scrape the paint job, the brand new paint job, as you dodge through the debris. And as you angle it back out, you see immediately ahead a large ship whoever's in the flight deck, make a knowledge warfare check. It is currently just above a bluish planet that is in front of you. The knowledge warfare check is difficulty 2.
Okay. And I'm gonna one more time with the auxiliary. Sorry to keep using.
Okay, no, burn them. Okay, it's yeah. We got 10 minutes.
I would also like to use an ox.
Oh no!
Okay. Rogan, thank you for the ox crew die. 1 failure, 1 advantage. So there's that at least. You're gonna also use it. So nobody knows what you're looking at. Okay. Nobody knows what the hell you're looking at. All you know is there is a large ship out in front of you. Also, real quick, by the way, that last Ox crew came from D-Man 1701. So thank you, D-Man. You see a large ship, Silhouette 5. So not Star Destroyer scale, but it's larger than the transport. You guys are a decimator, so your silhouette, I believe, is 4. Yes. So it's just 1 silhouette larger than you guys. That's hovering above the planet. The second thing you notice is that you are in a field of debris. It looks like metal scrap flying all around you, of all different types. But what really grabs your attention is the 3 TIE fighters that immediately divert from where they are and start barreling towards the Poor Judgment at full speed. You see them break off and begin to start heading towards you. They are currently at extreme range and are barreling towards you guys. And you hear unidentified transport. This is the Gazanti class armed transport 7-2. Identify yourself immediately.
I would like to use a light side point.
Okay. Flipping back to the dark side.
This is very stupid. I would like to bluff that we have been sent as reinforcements after having recovered our stolen ship.
Okay. Sometimes you got to roll hard 6, right?
You know what? You got to go for it. He's panicking.
Make a deception.
He's walking into that casino and placing a bet.
Seriously. The episode started with gambling. It's going to end with gambling. God damn it. So make a deception check. You're going to get a boost die because you're in the decimator. You're going to get a setback die because you're in a decimator that's been painted.
Mm-hmm.
And do you guys, you got your transponders changed too, didn't you?
Yep.
So then give yourself another setback die.
Yep. I'm using
and the difficulty of this is going to be the Imperial officer's will. So go ahead and, go ahead and make your roll, and I will make their roll.
Okay.
And it'll be a roll off. Hey, not bad. Okay. I'm going to, let's see. Yep. This is going to be, oops, let me pull up his stats. So let's see. Okay, 2. I'm going to spend a dark side point.
We got it right back, yo.
Yep. And I'm going to, that'll be fine.
Can't wait for this to work and for them to be like, then come on board.
Oh my goodness. He got the same number of advantages as you. There is a long pause on the other end of the comms. And you hear him say, "What is your ship's designation?"
We have the designation Judgment. We've recovered our ship from a bunch of rebels who stole it from us and put this garish paint job on it.
Understood, Judgment. Fighter escort will bring you back in. Stand by.
Of course.
3 ties are headed towards you, but they slow their acceleration from attack speed down to cruising speed. They are now at long range.
What?
Elias, to
am
glass.
Tillo looks at you and says, "Yes, get up there."
Oh, see, yeah. Yes, Alien Cat's there.
And then he says, "I need somebody else in the turret down below just in case. Pick somebody.
Myth.
Who's got gunnery?" Get in that turret.
Not me. Gran? Is Gran available?
Grant is not available, no.
Gran is
I beg on comms. Do you want me in the turret or back here fixing things?
You stay back there and fix things. Myth, guess what? You're our gunner. Congratulations. Do your best.
Yeah, let's go.
Myth.
Is Neru out of commission at the?
What's that?
Where's Neru right now?
Oh, Neru.
Yeah, Neru. Oh, that's right. Neru's got gunnery skill up the wazoo.
Yeah, let's do Neru.
You know what? I'm gonna spend a dark side point.
No!
Guess what? The Empire built this ship. Neru cannot fit into that seat.
Shit,
cannot fit into the gunnery chair.
Space
cannot strap in.
Too large.
Literally too big for it.
I gotta be so
cannot
big.
fit into and this is a turret that's gonna swivel and move and left. Can't risk it. Cannot fit into that seat.
Stucky, do you have someone in your co-pilot seat?
I do not. Oh no.
No, oh boy. Next episode's gonna be a good one, y'all.
MT slides in, miming holding a drinks tray.
It's like Airplane 3. And with that,
do not worry.
MT slides into the co-pilot seat and looks at you.
Oh.
I'm ready to place that bet now, Stucky.
Oh, you know what? Why not? It's been a day.
That is where we are going to leave off tonight with Ember Squad. These three ties barreling towards y'all. You've bought yourself some time. Down below is the planet Vetris, which apparently is currently. It doesn't look like it's a full-on blockade. There is just one carrier here, so it's not a big Imperial warship, but there is three ties. They've clearly found it.
I think we can take them.
That's going to wrap it for us today. Thank you so much for joining us. I did want to take a moment. I've been saying it across all of Discord. I said it all over my stream this morning, and I'm going to say it here again tonight. Happy birthday, Chandra, one of our mods.
Happy birthday!
Thank you so much. Happy birthday, Chandra. All the work Chandra does for us. We're about to see the credits that Chandra did for this show. So definitely go onto Twitter and inundate Chandra with happy birthdays. We will catch you all next Monday night, everybody. Thank you so much for joining the rebellion, and we'll see you next time.